have access to intel from over a dozen agencies at his fingertips, but there's only one source of information President Trump needs: Fox News. Last night, the president tweeted this: "Report just out. China hacked Hillary Clinton's private email server. Are they sure it wasn't Russia? Just kidding. What are the odds that the FBI and DOJ are right on top of this? Actually, a very big story. Much classified information!" Exclamation point. If you're asking yourself, where did Donald Trump get this? You were not watching Fox.
Well, lunatics and dumb people in Washington have wasted the last 2 years of your life in a frenzy over Russia's supposed influence in our elections. Lost in the hyperbole and commotion and hysteria has been a real story: China's active, pervasive, and ongoing espionage against our country. Now, according to a new report by the Daily Caller, a Chinese-owned company successfully hacked Hillary Clinton's private email server.
This morning, the FBI knocked down the report, telling NBC News they have not found any evidence of Clinton's servers being compromised. Trump went on to tweet about that story and other quotes from Fox 5 times between last night and this morning. With us now, veteran columnist and MSNBC contributor Mike Lupica. He joins the table. Mike, what do you think about that? The president watching Fox News all day and then deciding to either tweet or make policy based on what he's hearing.
Fox News is his happy place, Katie. He gets to be the president he sees himself as being, that they see himself as being, and he's in this incredible echo chamber where they tell him constantly exactly what he wants to hear. And, we've all been reading these stories about how the only cabinet that matters is the one at Fox News. And every time I read those stories, I think, well, if that's true, we're screwed.
Let's read that story. Let's read that story. Washington Post. Many of Trump's cabinet secretaries and senior advisors have a cable news shadow. Dobbs might be considered Trump's television treasury secretary, Hannity his chief of staff, and Carlson his secretary of state. Fox's Jeanine Pirro serves as a de facto attorney general, railing against Sessions and the special counsel's Russia probe, while regular Fox analyst Pete Hegseth was under consideration to be the actual secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs. Guys, someone jump in.
Oh, my. So, can I just want to say one thing that Trump has always, and I think you'll bear me out on this, Frank, he's always not understood about the intelligence community. The intelligence community is not giving you facts. They're giving you the best estimate of what they have in intelligence to say, we have a high degree of belief in this, we have a low degree of belief in this. They're not saying you should believe this. He feels that the intelligence community is trying to persuade him of something that he doesn't think already.
Does he even listen to the intelligence community? Is he reading his PDB? Does he have any of this information? He's tweeting about South Africa.
But why wouldn't
because Tucker Carlson's doing a segment on it. Why not call up your Secretary of State and say, hey, listen, is what Tucker Carlson is saying on Fox News actually true? Is that what really is going on?
Maybe
because if it is, let's do something about it.
He doesn't want to believe that it's not true. That's what we've seen all along.
It's not fitting his narrative. So when intelligence and briefings don't fit his narrative, he doesn't want to hear them.
Is it his narrative, or is the only way he's able to consume it through a segment on television?
Well, perhaps his morning brief should be done through a TV network and during his executive time in the residence.
Well, that's what's happening. A lot of his aides go on television to talk to him. Listen to this, also from the Washington Post. Aides in turn try to influence the cable hosts who influence the president. When Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin led a delegation to China in May, he announced on Fox News Sunday that the United States was putting the trade war on hold. But soon after, others in the delegation, including China hawk Peter Navarro, found an alternative audience with Dobbs to criticize Mnuchin's message. Then Dobbs' criticism were picked up on Fox and Friends the following day by host Brian Kilmeade. Before long, and on the basis of those media messages, the president made an abrupt change in policy.
Well, this is a huge governing problem, but it's also a fascinating phenomenon because the other people that are in this Fox bubble, of course, are his supporters, because that's their sole source of news in many instances. So anything that's real does seem fake. It's completely out of the blue. They've never heard about this before. It can't possibly be true. So together, they're in this collective never land as they construct these formulas, these narratives that go on and on. Why do they think that immigration is a huge problem, that millions are pouring over the border when, in fact, we have net immigration going towards Mexico? It's because it's on Fox News constantly. It's either an illegal immigrant hurting someone, and we do know that immigrants commit crimes at lower rates, or it's
Than people born here.
Yeah, than people born here. But that's the universe in which they inhabit. And so not only, I think, does he not read, and we know that, and does not, we now know that they basically reduce everything to a bullet point. And if the bullet points are too long, he won't even read that. So he doesn't absorb information very well at all, let alone reading it. But I think the bigger issue is he doesn't want to live in the real world. The real world doesn't think he's a good president. The real world sees that he's messing up right and left. The real world sees he may have committed crimes.
So what his advisors will say is, listen, the fact that he watches so much Fox News and parrots what they say on television shows that he's really in touch with Americans and the way Americans consume information and the way Americans think.
Sure, that shows that he's in touch with his base of Americans. But I think, frankly, his ego can't handle any kind of reality. And so we saw that. I mean, what better example is there than the flag fiasco with Senator John McCain? I mean, how small of a person do you have to be, truly, to not honor that man who served this country honorably? First in Vietnam and then in the Senate, because he was had political differences with you.
But it's before that. He said he wasn't a war hero in 2000 when he was talking. I believe it was 2000 when he was talking Tim Russert. So that thing that he said in 2015 did not come out of the blue.
No, same fragile ego.
Yeah, Mike, I wanna let you jump in.
No, and who's he talking to and who's he listening to? This world of the league of aging, angry white guys. And you just want to say to him sometimes, Mr. President, dude, this stuff's going to rot your brain. Catch a ball game once in a while. Go to a movie. Because if you constantly listen.
Does he like sports?
Well, he used to like football. Well, he used to like football until they wouldn't let him into the NFL, and now, of course, he's on record as hating it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.